everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rachel, and I like gardening and I've decided to make some content about my garden this year. So last video I made was a little over a week ago, and I thought I would do a check-in as to how my plants are doing. Yesterday I potted up a lot more of my tomatoes. Here's a hack, because the 3 don't really fit. But if you cut off the top inch, then they do fit 3 feet. However, it's very easy to break the entire cup. So, I don't know. That's it. I'm gonna pot up these tomatoes into there. Thanks, cameraman Jim. I had only potted up 2 of them prior, and then we did a little bit of an experiment between jalapenos, whether or not uppotting them would improve or make a stronger or bigger plant. So I kind of see a little bit of differences now between the 2 plants, the 6 that I left in the kind of seed cells, like the germination cells, and then the plants that I uppotted into larger containers. So I figured I'd show you all about that. And then just show you, I got a couple of other things going on. Went to Home Depot yesterday. So number 1, I guess I can show you the jalapenos. Okay, I got these like bottom trays, and they're so flimsy. I almost lost everything. Okay, so it smells very good. It's hard to kind of tell the difference. Maybe if I could put this up here so that they're similar. These obviously are the ones that I left in the cell. This one I dropped my phone on yesterday. And these are the ones that were in the bigger pots. The main difference that I see is seed or leaf shape. And then honestly, the smaller ones seem to be sturdier. And I don't know whether that's just because they are literally next to each other and kind of leaning on each other, or if it's actually true. It does seem like the base is thicker. It does look like maybe the base is a little bit thicker. Oh yeah, that's thicker in the bigger pot. But otherwise I don't see too terribly much of a difference. And even in, even in like where they're at in terms of growth, it's hard to show just one plant. So these, where they're at in terms of growth, they're just putting up, I guess, what is that? There, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7th. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they're doing about the same. They're on the same like fertilizer schedule. They're on the same watering schedule and all that jazz. The fun thing is how big the tomatoes got in the past 10 days. They're like a honkin' whole plant here. These are my super steak red tomatoes, just beef steaks, and they are really, really taking off. They are very girthy and just huge, but it's nice to see that while they are bigger, they were like towering over these jalapenos a couple days ago, but not so much anymore. So they're all doing pretty well. I don't know if I posted this, but I got 2 new grow lights. Let me show you. So I rejigged my setup a little bit. So I added in an additional shelf that I had, but I didn't have the little like black thing, so I just taped it. So I have 2 lights on the top, and this is for like seed starting. I am gonna start a lot of flowers next week in here, so need the light close. Then this is the second tier. I decided I'm gonna maybe try to do some sweet potatoes, but I just pulled that out today. And then another tier here, and then this bottom one, which is where the tomatoes are. And then that's a vent that I have, and it blows hot air for the most part, warm air. And so it gets the bottom two tiers with wind, and then I just open up the window when it's warm enough for these ones to get them, instead of getting an oscillating fan. So that's the setup. James built me this very beautiful contraption. It's got wheels on the bottom of it so that I can wheel it over, when I want to. And then we have 2, 3, 4, 5 lights in total. Okay, so I'll show you the other tomatoes in comparison. I cannot move that entire tray without it toppling over, so. Okay, so these are my Brandywine tomatoes. I need to look back and see exactly when I started them. I'll put it how many days these are. But these are all contemporaries, I believe, of one another. Except for this, which is not a Brandywine. Except for this one was the one that I was gonna throw away. One of them got stunted from lack of water, and I think I'm just gonna pick it because it's not doing great. This was kind of a bit of a stunted tomato when I uppotted these ones, but it wasn't that much further behind in terms of growth. It wasn't doing super well. It dried out a little bit, like you can see down here, like this leaf completely shriveled up, and it was a bit stunted then, but it's been doing really well since, and I uppotted it yesterday, but this was its contemporary. So if you are considering prolonging your tomatoes getting big, like maybe you started them really early like I did, hold off on uppotting them until you're ready. Because as impressive as this is, I wish it was only this big for the time being, because I am going to run out of room. Because I just don't need the tomato to be this big yet. I can't really plant them until mid-June, and it's March 19th. So I might be having indoor tomatoes, I don't know. So again, like I said, I uppotted all of these tomatoes yesterday. I told myself that I would remember where and what I planted, but I didn't, and I have no idea what these are. I'm pretty sure this is a sauce tomato, or maybe 10 fingers of Naples, but I don't know. They were looking pretty worse for where James and I went off away for the weekend, and everything kind of got a little bit too dry, but I think they'll bounce back fine. Especially if this one bounced back, this one will be fine. In theory. So those are my tomatoes. And then in terms of herbs, my cilantro is going, but only in that one corner. I did add a few more seeds in there yesterday, and then we had this guy pop up a few days ago. So I'm hoping that it'll all end up germinating, but I also know that cilantro lends itself pretty easily when you just sprinkle it outside. So I'll be doing that as well. But it's always nice to have some before the summer. Next up, we have my zinnias, which are all doing very, very well. Oh, it looks like they're even about to, I'll show you, it looks like they're about to flower. You see that? And that one there doesn't look great, but maybe it's a darker color. They did dry out this weekend again, like I said. And then my marigolds, they're in the same boat of going to flower. Now, I'm curious if maybe when we left, because I left the lights on the entire time, and then because these dried out, that maybe they thought it was the middle of winter, and then went to not winter, maybe they thought it was the middle of summer. But I just realized that a lot of these, what are these leaves, I guess, are broken off. I just pulled another one off too. My bad, sorry. Sorry guys. Because they're going to flower and that's strange. But maybe it's not because I've never grown either of these before, so maybe that's just what they do at this stage. I definitely need to get these somewhere, but I don't know where or what. I'm thinking that maybe I'm gonna get like a little mini outdoor greenhouse. I saw some on sale at Home Depot the other day for like $69. And once the frost, like we're getting down to -19 this week. We're up to +16 yesterday. Absolute nightmare for my brain and my migraines, but that's okay. But once that cold snap is done, I hope that we're kind of done with those super negative temperatures. And then if I can get that going, then I can move basically all of this outside. I do have a garage that I can like wheel them in at night. And then I can free up a lot more space to do more flowers. I've got 2 rows of snapdragons here, and then the rest of these are sauce tomatoes that took their sweet time germinating. So I just left them in here for a little bit longer because I need to save some room and I don't need them to get huge. These sauce tomatoes, these ones are indeterminate, so they will get as big as big. Every other variety that I have, the New Jersey Devils, the cherry tomatoes, or the sweetie tomatoes, which are the cherry tomatoes, the brandy one, and the beefsteak are all determinate. So I'll likely be doing a lot of those in pots. I'm gonna do all of these sauce tomatoes in my back garden bed so they can get big and we can make a bunch of sauces and we can make a bunch of canned tomatoes, but they don't need to get big yet because we're not gonna be able to put them out until June, like I said. These are snapdragons that I started in a video before. I'll show you the comparison between these ones and the ones I started a couple of weeks before these ones right now. So this is my very measly little seed tray at the moment. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 cells out of 72 that have anything in them. I had a lot of tomatoes in here before, and I have a lot of algae and what is that called? The furry stuff, mold. I put some cinnamon on them, but these are the snapdragons. It just looks horrific. And then here is my lavender. I'll show you closer up. Okay, first things first. Look at this. Look how gross that is. Look at all that mold and algae. Like that's algae and that's mold. I have both and they're gross. Here are my snapdragons. I have a lot of them in this cell here, but I haven't thinned them out yet because I really am curious if I can save them. I was pinching off all of these little tomatoes, but I saw Roots and Refuge, she separates them when she up pots them. So I'm gonna do that and try that out instead of just pinching them all off. And I'm gonna try to do the same with these snapdragons, but I don't know if that's even possible, but I am gonna try to save some of them. Maybe I'll kill all of them, but that's okay. And then here's my lavender. I guess if you have any, do I need to thin these? Let me know. Do I need to thin these or can I salvage some of them? Because I have so many and they took so long to germinate. And I don't want to throw them out or pinch them off. And then here's my lavender. 1, 2, this guy's really going. 3, 4, 5. And then this guy, I don't know. He's so small in there. I don't know if he's grown much in recent days. This is not full enough of soil, but I also am going to do kind of survival of the fittest, and I'm gonna empty out, obviously, these ones and all of these and start new seeds just to kind of freshen up and liven up the soil for the next round of seed starts. And these again, I'll go in my top shelf with the dual lights. That's the seed start. That's where the seeds that need sun to germinate go to germinate. I think it's a pretty good setup. I'll put these away. So then I have my lemon mint, which is doing the least. I've got my alpine strawberries, which are doing really, really well. Oops, some vermiculite fell out. Which are doing really, really well. How fun is that? My Thai basil, I have 3 seeds that have germinated, so not amazing. I also am gonna be starting some just normal basil as well. Oh, 4 that germinated, there we go. There's a 4th one in the corner there. I'm gonna get some normal basil as well. My pepperoncinis are little tiny little guys, and I'm doing the same thing with the peppers. I'm not gonna pinch off those little guys like I did with everything else. I'm just gonna let them go. And then I have some fun stuff. So I've got my bunching onions, which some of them died. I don't know if they're even gonna make it. If you have any tips about these bunching onions, they were on a windowsill and then James knocked them off and they haven't been the same since. I cannot tell a lie. Here's my kale, looking a little bit leggy, but this is going outside as soon as that frost is done. I'm just planting them, man. I'm letting them go. But they like cold temperatures. And guess what we have? Cold temperatures. What else is going outside as soon as this week is over and -20 is gone? My new blueberry plants. I have one, don't know if it's gonna come back because after I turned off the water at the end of last season, I didn't water anything again. And I'm pretty sure my rose, my hydrangea, and my blueberry all died. And that's on me. But I thought winter was coming and we had no snow and it was actually a drought and everything looks pretty bad, but that's okay. So I got, what is this one? I got blue crop blueberries. Apparently these are, can't see me. Apparently these are really sweet. I'm gonna tilt this up. So I got blue crop blueberries. And apparently these ones are super, super sweet and delicious. And I got them for what, $13 at Home Depot? Rona? I can't remember. But I got these and then I got a high alpine variety as well. Now they don't need 2 varieties in order to pollinate, but I did read that if you have a high alpine, which isn't as sweet or delicious and it produces fruit earlier in the season, if you have this growing next to this, it makes the delicious one, the blue crop, produce way more fruit. It has a more fruitful year. So we're gonna do that. They're tiny little, and I'm gonna put them in pots like I did with my last blueberry, because we are renting and I wanna take them with me when we go. But yeah, I need to get my soil acidifier fertilizer in so that I can fertilize these guys as well. I'm keeping them away from the normal fertilizer for now, and they're just on the top here. Just on the top here, getting just normal sun, because I think that they're kind of northern, you know. I feel like kale, maybe not green onions, but blueberries for sure, they're Canadian. I don't know if kale is, but it does well in cold climates. And so I've decided that they don't get the fancy lights, they just get my window and they get the window open, and they're tough, I think. So that's it. That's everything I have going on right now. And thanks for spending time with me. And if you would like, throw me a follow along. We've got a long season ahead of us. I started really early. Oh, that's all James's stuff, but we gotta fill all this up, and my veggie beds in the back, and my landlord, who has this entire, oh, I'll turn you around. So my landlord's garden is also my next door neighbor's garden, and back in here is all community garden, well, it's not community garden, it's me who lives here, Linda who lives there, and then Max who lives in the house next door to Linda. He has one garlic, I can't really see, but he's got stuff there. And then we added a few more beds over there and I get half of one. And Linda gave me garlic to plant in there. I'm gonna do that again once the cold snap is done. So I get another half a garden bed, and then I have my front yard as well. And I'm really excited, and you should follow along and throw me a follow. Leave me a comment if you want. Give me tips on my snapdragons and my mold problems and whether or not I need to thin them out or I can't, or just let me know where you're gardening and if I should give you a follow too, because I will, because I'm always looking for new people to follow and new gardens to see. So all that to say, long video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.